So real estate is not for everybody.
Huh?
You might think that it's easy, and it is for everyone, but there's tons and tons of people that it is not for. So I'm going to go through some of those reasons why it wouldn't be for you. So let's start with number one. Obviously, that's a good place to start. Number one reason why real estate would not be good for you is fear-based, basically. So society tells us, you're supposed to step by step go through the process, get married, buy a house, save your money, put away some in RSP for retirement, and hope that by the time you actually retire, you have enough money. So people like to play it safe. They don't want to think outside of the box. And real estate is definitely an outside of the box way of thinking. So real estate can be a very good investment. But, especially if you take some advice from some of our parents and relatives, maybe the old school way of doing things may not have been the best way for future investment purposes. So we're kind of focusing on real estate from an investment standpoint. We're going to get into number two, which is emotional buying. I get a lot of clients often that, fall in love with a house and it's clearly not the right house for them, and I can see that it's not the right house for them. So if you, number two, are an emotional person and you think about things emotionally, you get romantically involved in the image or the dreaminess about the house, not a good plan. Real estate is a numbers game. And so if you want to invest in real estate, you have to make sure that the numbers work. I've heard so many people that have got into an emotional buy and then later lost money and said, why did I buy that? Well, guess what? Because you didn't look at the numbers. So number three, you're afraid of debt. So this is a big one. So, our parents always told us, you buy a house, you pay it off in 30 years, you own it, you're good to go for the rest of your life. Not the case. Most people buy homes now as an investments. They use, the deficit as a write-off, and it increases in value. Real estate is the fastest growing commodity out there. People have made a lot of money on real estate if they have done it wisely. And really, most people make money on anything that they do a little bit of research on. Debt can actually make you money. So there's good debt and bad debt. I'm going to do a little talk in the future about what good debt and bad debt. Number four is you're lazy. You're lazy, and it's okay to be lazy. You might not want to get into owning real estate. You might not want to be a landlord. Believe me, I've been a landlord, and I've had some really, really bad tenants. So expect if you're a landlord and you make an investment, you're going to get midnight phone calls. Something's broken down. The basement has flooded. Be prepared for those calls. Lost rent. Maybe not getting a tenant out. One time I had a tenant, and I think they stayed in the property for about 6 months not paying rent. So you absolutely have to be prepared for those things. And if you don't want to work at it, don't buy real estate. So if that doesn't sound fun to you, any of those things that I mentioned, maybe you're not cut out to be a landlord. And number five, get rich quick. I noticed that a lot of millennials especially, not pointing out all, of course, but a lot of people think that it's really easy just to get into real estate and make tons of money and get out and then, buy your next property. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's a long-term portfolio. So if you really want to use it for your retirement, it's going to take at least 5 to 10 years to start developing a positive cash flow and moving into a direction where it's actually going to be beneficial to you. There are flips that people do. You see all the shows on HGTV, Fix It and Flip. There's some amateur shows that are pretty funny to watch, but the truth is that there's a lot of hidden things that they don't show that are pretty scary, and you can lose your shirt. Literally in the process. So, great investment, great reward. But if you don't know what you're doing, probably not a good idea to get into fixing and flipping. So in summary, basically, real estate, is it good for you? Is it the right thing for you to do? There's a lot of people that rent and have a perfectly happy life, and they invest in other areas that they're a little more comfortable with. So number one, if you're afraid of escaping society's box, don't do it. don't get involved in real estate. Number 2, emotional human being. If you cannot separate the difference between an emotional purchase and a well thought out numbers game, don't do it. Number 3, you're afraid of debt. You know, you're listening to your parents that you have to pay off your house. Nobody pays off their house anymore. As you can see by the prices, I mean, it's virtually impossible these days to pay off a house, especially in our market. Number 4, you're lazy. I like that one. I know I'm not lazy, and I'm sure none of you are either, but it's kind of funny to say it. And you figure that, you know, you can do it on your own and you don't need any support. And number 5, you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme. As we all know, in any industry, there's nothing easy in this world. You have to work hard and do your homework and get as much education as you can. So talk to your local realtor or talk to your accountant, even better, about some investment strategies and whether they think that it's a good idea for you.